Welcome to Accessibilities with Dr. Deanne Marquis. Hi, I am Dr. D. Giannetti, and this is my co-host and service dog, Marquis. Marquis, high five. Marquis, say hi. Atta boy. And who's our special guest today? It is Lou Cimaglia from Veteran Services in Wilmington. Okay, Marquis, down. As you know, this is a show to celebrate everyday people who happen to have disabilities. There is a saying, if you see it, you can be it. But there's a big shortage of people with disabilities visible on the screen. So that's what we're hoping to do. By highlighting people who happen to have a disability, I'm hoping that a viewer may say, I have that disability, and if he or she can do that, maybe I can do that too. We would also like to highlight organizations, businesses, and town departments and talk about their reasonable accommodations for their services and products for people with disabilities. And we will talk about disability issues you may want to know more about. So today, before I introduce my special guest, I'd like to talk about an issue that a number of you have commented on, and that is asking for help. For some reason, we, people with disabilities, feel or have been groomed to feel that we have to apologize for having a disability. That is just absolutely ridiculous. It's not our fault we have a disability. We are not less than human beings because we have a disability. We just do things. We have to learn to do things in a different mode of functioning. That's all. It's just not the way the majority of people do things. There's a word that people with disabilities value, and that word is interdependent. We're brought up, many of us, to strive to be independent and be as independent as possible. But there is a satisfaction of people helping people for both the helper and the helpee. When I first became disabled, you didn't see many people out in public with disabilities at all. And I felt that I had to be what was called a super crip. I had to do everything myself, and I had to do it better than everybody else. That is a very challenging, tough challenge to live up to. That should not be the goal. There's even a whole profession created towards interdependence, and it's called personal care assistants. The last point I want to make is that in order to receive help, we must also allow ourselves to accept help, give ourselves permission, and accept help with grace. It opens up a whole new world. So now I'd like to introduce my first guest, my guest, Lou Cimaglia from Veteran Services. Good morning, Lou. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. D. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I think I'd like to start right where you just started. Ask for help. I think it's key that people have to understand that there's so many different programs and assistance out there for people with disabilities. We're fortunate to work in our office through the VA because there are many state and federal benefits for disabled veterans, whether it's monetary, wheelchairs, ramps, but there's also a lot of programs that we're fortunate enough to be able to offer to veterans with disabilities, and to be quite honest, not just veterans with disabilities, we're able to help in our office. Of course, the Masons in town with their ramps. The Masons are a phenomenal organization that are just a phone call away. Yeah. And I don't know if you ever had them in here, but those guys do unbelievable work, excuse me, putting up ramps, taking down ramps, storing ramps. But it's another tool in the toolbox, if you will, that we use in our office. Yeah. The VA offers, obviously, the equipment that is needed for veterans that have disabilities and their dependents as well. So can I interrupt you for a second? Sure.
So Lou, I know you've been doing this for a long time. How long have you been working?
I've been the director of Veteran Services in Wilmington for 16 years.
Wow, that's a great long time. Well, thank you so much for your service.
No, it's the most amazing job I ever had. Our job description is we help veterans and their families, and that's it.
And you're located here in Wilmington.
We are 141 Shawshene Ave, the Little Red Schoolhouse, the old West Schoolhouse. excuse me, on
And
Shawsheen.
And if people wanted to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you?
We have obviously email. It's veterans@wilmingtonma.gov. And of course, our office number is 978-694-2040. And Mike is the VSO in town also. He's an amazing man that just loves his job, and he's done great work. He is full-time there. And we also have Patty Meehan in our office. She's part-time in our office and part-time at the senior center.
And is she a social worker?
Well, she's our caseworker. And it's Terry Marciello and I actually created that position a little over a year ago, probably close to 2 years ago now. But it's been a phenomenal fit because through this whole pandemic as well, Patty has done the Meals on Wheels. So every day she has eyes on a lot of our housebound seniors, and whether veteran or not, and it's been a great fit, and she's been able to do wonderful work with that as well.
That's great.
To see if they need anything. Because, like you said, a lot of people don't want to ask for help. And I find that a lot.
Yeah.
And whether it's mental health issues, PTSD, TBI, a lot of my veterans are struggling. And unfortunately, with what's going on in the world today, they can't get out and see and do a lot of things that they like to do.
Right. So, so depression, anxiety, any symptoms that people don't know, symptoms of PTSD, irritability, and if you don't think you're irritable, but somebody's telling you that you're irritable every day, that's a big sign. But everyday people are struggling right now with anxiety and depression from being at home or maybe losing a job due to this pandemic. So it's even harder for someone who already has an underlying cause for anxiety or depression like PTSD.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. And it's just, I like to tell people, and I'm no doctor, but post-traumatic stress is not a bad thing. It's your body reacting to a situation that can be highly bad.
Right.
You know, and
it's a normal reaction
right.
to abnormal circumstances.
Perfect. And,
right.
and a lot of my young men and women are struggling with that, and being at home now and not being able to get out, like I said, and do the things they usually like to do is becoming an issue. The number right now is 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. And I do not believe that those numbers are correct, because not all states report veteran suicide. That's
a very, very high number. Even losing one person is really tough. But when I was in your office, I saw you have a wall of photographs of veterans.
I do. One whole wall is covered with all the military personnel that have died since 9/11 just from Massachusetts. And a lot of those were obviously killed in action. But there are, unfortunately, a lot of suicides up there as well.
Wow. That's a subject that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and it's such an important one for people to talk about. If you're having thoughts or feelings of suicide, of less worth of yourself, of a hopeless future, there are things that can be done to help you. There's talk therapies, and there's a whole array of different types of, excuse me, cognitive behavioral therapies and talk therapies and and therapies specific to post-traumatic stress disorder for flashbacks and re-experiencing
right.
that are so helpful. So if somebody is feeling that way and feeling really down, Lou, what would you suggest that they do?
Call us, call our office, call a friend, call a brother veteran. Reach out. Like you said in the beginning, you have to reach out and ask for help. We wear this ring here. It's called an honor ring. It's a black ring we wear on our index finger, and it's called a 22 Kill organization, and it's just to bring awareness to post-traumatic stress. There is a VA hotline, which is on our website. I should know it off the top of my head, but there is a crisis line that you can call and press 1 to talk. It's good, but we're fortunate in this community. We have such a tight-knit veteran community, but a tight-knit community. And I just implore anyone, if you have a younger veteran or an older veteran, it's not just younger veterans, that might be isolating, might be having some of the issues, like we said, we call them red flags. And just reach out to them, ask them if they're okay, and send them our way, send them to our office. We do home visits too. We can go home and talk to some of these veterans, because like I said, it's not all young vets that are doing it. But the network is there. The network is there.
So if somebody calls you and says, I need help,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong, but I need help, so then what will happen?
Get them in the office. If they don't want to come to the office, I can meet them somewhere, go out for a coffee, do a home visit, like I said, if they can't get out. There are some inpatient programs at Bedford. Over the 78G is the department where we send guys, and that's inpatient.
Yeah.
And they can go in there and be evaluated and stay a night or 2 or 10 if they have to detox
A
off
good
of
place for
anything.
them to be safe.
Correct. I've spent 2 hours in the hospital in Winchester hospital last month with a young man that we had to get in there, and they let me stay with him for 2 hours, which they weren't supposed to do, but I was
Yeah.
able to. And
That's wonderful. So there is help, and you can have somebody
yeah,
with you. There are people who are just waiting to help.
Yeah. And we have a cell phone.
And so at the Bedford VA, they have outpatient counseling as well?
Oh, yeah. And again, unfortunately now with the pandemic, a lot of it's done over the phone or virtually.
Telehealth? Yeah.
Telehealth, but they do, in fact, have mental health counseling, and you can talk to somebody. So the help is there. But again, we're fortunate in our town. We have our own office, the standalone office. We're not connected to town hall or anything, so people can feel comfortable to come in and not, wait out in the hallway, if you will, and
Right.
waiting
Be
to see somebody.
recognized by other people.
Yeah,
Right.
we
So
have-
there's privacy.
Correct. We have groups of younger vets that I can call, and they'll have guys knocking on the door within hours, and they do the same thing here. They've called me, actually it was middle of the night, and I ended up going out to the Neshoba Valley Medical Center and spent a couple hours with a kid, and we were able to get him into the VA inpatient to help him out.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, the network is there, but again, to bring the conversation full circle, you have to ask for help, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We've all been there, you know.
Yeah.
And vets are a strange group. We like to stick together. That's why we have our own cemeteries. I have to give props to Tom Kelly, Medal of Honor recipient in Vietnam. When they were opening the Yagawam Cemetery, that was his line. But it's true. We want to stick together, and my God, please
So
reach
that's so
out.
important for vets to know. You're not alone.
Right.
There are people, and they understand your pain, they understand your suffering, and even if you don't understand what's happening to you, they're there, they're waiting, they're ready to help.
And it's easier for a vet to talk to somebody that has combat experience. You
Yeah.
know, I was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I have a lot of my Vietnam guys that are phenomenal that have worked with my younger vets, and they've said that, kid, I was you 50 years ago, and they've built relationships, and they've sponsored each other sometimes through Alcoholics Anonymous and things like that. They'll sponsor them if there's a drinking issue. And
So that's another thing that happens a lot with
Yeah.
PTSD. People end up
self-medicating.
self-medicating, right?
Yeah.
And that can lead to addictions,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's another tough thing.
But the help is there. And like I said, I implore anyone that sees a vet, knows a vet, and obviously through these times might be isolating a little more than usual, or just setting up any of the red flags, by all means reach out to us, and we'll help them.
And nobody is, everybody needs help. Everybody needs help at some time. And some people feel like, well, maybe I'm an officer, or maybe I have a higher position, and so I shouldn't ask for help. I should know how to deal with this myself. And no, you shouldn't know how to deal with it yourself. There are people there to help you. It happens to everybody.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what your educational background is, what your position is. It can happen to anybody.
That's right. That's right. Please, by all means, don't be afraid to ask for help. And not all handicaps are, not all disabilities are you can see.
That's
And-
right.
and-
So
and-
we've talked about that here
right,
before.
and
Hidden
TBI.
disability. Yeah, traumatic brain injury. So
Yes.
that's the number one disability for vets is co-occurring traumatic brain injury and PTSD.
Right, and one can stress out the other and make it worse. Also, this conflict has the most amputees than any other conflict.
Yeah.
Because the medical, when they're injured on the battlefield, they're minutes away from a state-of-the-art hospital.
Yeah.
So they're able to
To
save.
being able to save more.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of men and women that have some severe disabilities or lost a limb, and some of them are amazing stories too. Inspirational stories, inspirational speakers. It's phenomenal what these kids do.
Yeah.
And they are kids. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's amazing. But there is help out there, and don't ever feel alone.
So what other services do you offer for vets? How many vets are you serving right now?
It's kind of hard to tell a number, only because not a lot of veterans put on the census that they are veterans.
Right.
But we figure we have probably close to 2,500 veterans in Wilmington.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you really aren't alone, vets out there?
No, and we do basically from a welcome home bonus to death benefits and everything in between. That's what we do in our office. We help them get the benefits they've earned, whether it's a disability compensation, retirement pension, VA health care, get them in there, assist with home loans.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, we do. We help them with all, because obviously the VA is a bureaucracy, and there's paperwork that goes with everything. And we've been able to say, hey, just come in here and just sign here. We'll take care of everything for you. And that's what we do.
Wow.
And that relieves a lot of the stress. Getting a wheelchair, getting home adapted services put in, whether it's expanding a bathroom or a ramp, the VA helps pay for all those too. So we help with all that paperwork too. Vans, getting vans, we've helped people get vans, yeah.
And so do you know where to go to get these things too?
We are the expert at getting experts. That's our job. We know who to call to get the job done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is such a help for people, because it's such an overwhelming thing when all of a sudden you find you're disabled.
Yeah.
And
again,
what's
thinking
this
you're
life
alone.
going to be like, and how do I function?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a great network of kids that whatever you need, we can get it done.
Yeah.
So,
So what's it like when a vet comes home, even if they don't have a disability? When a vet comes home, what happens?
it's a lot of times it's an initial shock of, wow, everything is slowed down, especially if they've just come back from a combat environment.
Yeah.
But it's also a great experience. I always tell them, because you're a veteran, nobody owes you anything, but there are a lot of benefits out there that you have earned. So go to school. You can get paid to go to college. They'll pay for your college, and they'll pay you to go to college. They call it BAH, the housing. Goes by the zip code of the school, so you can focus on your schooling and housing, getting an apartment, getting a house, furniture. I just got a call this morning, and a young lady wants to donate a stove.
Wow.
So we have a storage bin where we store some equipment that guys might need if they get an apartment. They just come home.
Oh, that's great to know.
Reintegrating back into civilian life can be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, and a lot of it's because of you've gone from 1,000,000 miles an hour to, even though life is fast, it's not quite as fast, and you have to slow down, and you feel you've lost that connection with your brothers in arms, and it's we're able to say no, you just have a new set of brothers in arms.
Are there group therapy programs coming?
There are actually there are a lot of groups, a lot of Vietnam guys groups. Unfortunately, not right now,
Right,
and that's
because of
becoming a
COVID.
problem too.
Yeah.
We've had groups in our office. We used to every other Thursday night. We'd have a check-in. I used to get food, pizzas or something, that's to get the kids there.
Yeah.
And once they were there, it was phenomenal, and they'd build the relationships, and that's where a lot of relationships with Vietnam, with older vets, came to fruition, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
And, just to be able to talk and, how you doing? I wish I could call every one of my vets every day just to check in. because
It's such a needed thing and such a worthwhile
I
thing
think
to
so,
have that
yeah.
human contact,
Yeah,
even just a 5-minute little conversation.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because again, with PTSD, TBI, a small issue might become a big issue. For instance, I had a young man that was working. He was doing okay. He had TBI and PTSD, but he was working. He was doing okay. And then his car broke down and he got a $500 bill. So that was like the end of the world. Like, I'm going to have to cancel quit my job, and, you know, well, we were able to take care of it, get the bill paid, and now he's doing fine. But sometimes a little thing may become a big thing to them.
Right, right. It can
Yeah.
seem,
Overwhelming.
yeah, very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Wow.
good. Like I said, we have a great network.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it is. It is.
And so then filling out paperwork if they want to apply.
Yes,
If they're not sure, how do I get to school? How do I get a home loan? How do I do any of these things?
For instance, the Welcome Home Bonus, the state of Massachusetts offers a Welcome Home Bonus. If you were in a combat zone, $1,000. If you deployed somewhere else, it could be $500. Even contiguous state sides for 6 months, maybe $250. And I don't like saying this, but you can apply for that online. I don't tell the kids that. I come to the office.
Yeah.
So we get them in the office. And now once we get them in the office, we got them.
Yeah.
You know, we'll do the Welcome Home Bonus, enroll them in the VA for the health care, maybe open a claim if they have any issues. How's their housing situation? But
Yeah,
we got
see
'em, we
what
got
type
'em.
of services they might need.
And they earned, yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's
That's
amazing.
great.
It's obviously I'm biased to veterans, but there are a
Well,
lot
we
of
are so
service.
grateful for their service.
Yeah,
It's just
thank
such
you.
a noble thing to do.
Yeah, thank you.
And we really do need to take care of them when they come back home because it's an extraordinary event that they're going through.
Right. It is. It is. And like you said, not all disabilities are you can see. So
No.
these kids have to just reach out. And again, if you're a parent or a friend or a buddy, just call our office. Just shoot us an email, and we will reach out to them, and we will take care of them.
That's excellent advice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And so you have 2 other people working in the office. What does Mike do?
Mike is the VSO. He's the Veteran Service Officer. He is unbelievable with the VA because, again, it's overwhelming. To open a claim or to apply for a Welcome Home Bonus, it's paperwork. And a lot of guys will say, I'm done. I can't do it. Get into the office. Mike can do it. He does everything from putting the date to sign here and 17 pages of one application. It's all taken care of. And you don't have to worry about anything. We can reach out and we can get medical records if need be. You know, whatever
That's so
is
helpful.
needed. Oh, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah. And a lot of the older vets too. It can be overwhelming for anyone. But again, a kid just comes home and he's ready to go out and save the world. Then you sit him down, you say, you have to fill out these 42 pages. You know, it's like, nope, forget it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mike's great. He is great. He's really got a handle on it. And like I said, Patty is in there part-time, and it's been a great connection with the senior center and with our office. Eyes on seniors all the time. The 2 work great together. We've had phenomenal success running events. We had a
What
beautiful
type of events have you had?
Memorial Day and Veterans Day, obviously.
Yeah.
This past Veterans Day, we unveiled a new monument that Liam Prigmore,
Yeah.
Eagle
at the
Scout
Common?
Project. Yeah, at the
Yeah,
Common.
that's
listing all-
beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can say what it is.
Yeah, it lists all our killed in action, missing in action from Wilmington.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing project. The kid did a nice job, but we've been involved with that. We did a 9/11 ceremony on the Common this year, kind of combined with Billerica and Andover because because of COVID.
Right.
We did a nice little ceremony for 9/11.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just like to celebrate veterans and veteran services, and obviously the men and women that we've lost too.
Right.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to donate something to you, if they had clothing or if they had household items, like you mentioned the stove from this lady,
Yep.
or wheelchairs or ramps,
Yes.
what should they do to contact you?
Call our office, 978-694-2040. Give us a call. We'll figure it out. If it's something that we can use or store, we'll come pick it up. You don't have to do that. We have the Vietnam Veterans of America come to our office about monthly, picking up a lot of donations that people drop off of clothing. We have 2 knitter groups that knit and make Afghans,
great. Yeah.
and they make these beautiful smaller ones that fit over the legs for people in wheelchairs.
Wow.
And we send a lot overseas, and we send a lot over to the VA hospital. Saugus and Bill Ricca have the knitters groups that do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's wonderful. So people,
Yeah.
I hope you keep that in mind if you have anything that you can donate. Well, Lou, thank you so much.
Oh,
You've been a
thank you.
phenomenal guest, and we really thank you for your service. It's just tremendous, all the work that you do.
Thank you very much, and you as well. And I know sometimes it can't be easy to talk about their problems, but again, to bring it full circle, just reach out.
Yeah.
There's a lot we can do. And
Okay.
thank you for all you guys do too. Mhm.
All right. So now today's inspirational notable quotables. I have 2 quotes, and they're both from Anonymous. The first one is, "It isn't always enough to be forgiven by others. Sometimes you have to learn to forgive yourself." And the second one is, "Sometimes the people you expect to kick you when you're down will be the ones to help get you back up." So give people a chance to help you and take the first step and ask for help. So that's our show for today. I'd like to thank you for viewing and remind you that if you or a person you know with a disability would like to be a guest on our show, you can contact us at accessibilities2020@gmail.com. We are also on WCTV, Comcast Channel 99, Verizon Channel 39, Sundays at 6. We are on YouTube. We are closed caption for the deaf and hard of hearing on YouTube. You search for Accessibilities, all one word, no space, and look for the icon of the Statue of Liberty seated in a wheelchair. Click on that and you will see our shows. And we have something new we just started, and just introducing it. We have a Facebook page. So come find us on Facebook at facebook.com/accessibilities. If you have specific disability issues you'd like to learn more about, or if you'd like to make a comment on the show, you can write right there and let us know. So in the meantime, stay positive, and we'll see you next time. Marquis, up. Come. Okay, Marquis, say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Yay, good job.